Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 2. So Module 2 is the next sort of introductory, getting you ready to start writing essays in this class type of module. And basically what we're going to be focusing on is pre-writing and invention. So there's a chapter in your textbook, chapter 2, the invention chapter, and that chapter covers everything from reading an assignment to understanding your audience, looking at the length of the paper and everything that you would need to really think about before you start writing. And then it gets into pre-writing strategies, which are like free writing, brainstorming, informal outlines, cluster maps, things like that. And then the last part of the chapter is where you get into a thesis statement. And the thesis statement is typically where we start when essay writing, because without a thesis, or at least an idea for your thesis, which we call a working thesis, your essay really doesn't have anywhere to go. So this chapter covers all of that. So it's a really important chapter, and it covers a lot of habits that I hope students really start using every time they sit down to do a writing assignment, even if it's not for a writing class, is sitting down and thinking about how you can really understand the assignment and then work toward brainstorming a topic and all of that before actually sitting down to draft the essay. So there are 2 assignments in this module that are related to that chapter. Now, if you're worried about your textbook, if you don't have your textbook yet, which I've had a lot of emails and conversations about textbooks so far, so don't worry about it, don't panic about it, because I do have this chapter, the whole chapter. I have a PDF version that I created a few semesters ago when we had the same problem, and so you can just use this PDF if you need. And I think I have all the major chapters that you have to read for quizzes and other assignments. All of them are PDF in the class already, just because we've had problems. So anyway, this is the first assignment that you're going to work on. I recommend doing this before the thesis statement exam, but if you're a quiz kind of person and that's what you want to do first, that's fine. So the pre-writing journal is just practice of exercises in order to lead you from a general topic to a specific topic. One of the things I want to emphasize is that you are not writing an essay over any of these topics. It is not related to an essay that you're writing. You will not have to write the essay when you're done. All you are doing is demonstrating the pre-writing techniques. So it's not as hard as you think it's going to be. And that I get students confused with this assignment all the time. And despite my directions, you don't need to write an essay about this. You are imagining that you need to, and this is what you're doing as the pre-writing. So the pre-writing really should not take you very long. You're just showing me that you know how to do the techniques. So these are all exercises out of the textbook, and they follow one after another. So you have to do exercise 4 first before you can do exercise 5, because exercise 5 is based on the topic you chose in exercise 4. So there's a list of topics for exercise 4, and there's also a list of questions for probing that you'll use as well. And when you're ready to do this exercise, all you'll do is come down here, click on reply. So this looks like a discussion board, but rather than being a discussion board where you interact with your peers, you are only interacting with yourself. So it's a journal discussion board where all of the entries that you create are just ones that you will see. And we'll do this more than once this semester. I do have a couple of journal assignments in here just because I think that putting them in sort of a journal format with the entries helps students. So once you have looked at exercise 4 on page 34, you'll choose your 2 topics. So let's say my first topic, I'm just going to do, you can either do entry 1 or you can do exercise 4 or something that labels it so I know you know which one you were doing. And let's say you want to do genetically modified food, which is the 4th option here, and then I would ask questions about it. So you're going to ask questions based on the questions on page 32, which are just general questions for probing that you can make it more specific. So, for example, one of them is like, what is it? And so, you know, what is genetically modified food, for example? And the main thing that you're doing is asking the questions, because you want the questions to, any questions that would make your topic more specific. So what is genetically modified food? The answer to that is just going to be a definition, which isn't going to lead us very far if we're writing an essay about it. And so one better question might be, what are the effects of eating genetically modified food and that sort of thing. So you're going to ask 3 questions about each of the topics. You don't necessarily have to answer the questions. You can if you want to, particularly if you've chosen a topic that you know something about. That's fine. But the idea is that the question would lead you to a more specific answer that you could use in an essay. So once you're done with that one, so I would do the 2 topics and the 3 questions for each one, I'm just going to post it. And that's my first entry. My next entry is going to be, I'll click on reply again, and I'll label this one as, you know, entry 2 or something, and then I will do the free write from there. So the free write in exercise 5 is based on your choice. You can choose one of the 2 topics you did in exercise 4. Exercise 6, same thing. You're going to do a free write over something from exercise 5, and then exercise 7 is going to be a cluster map. Now for exercise 7, you have a couple of options. Since a cluster map is typically something you would hand draw, you can definitely do that on a piece of paper and then just upload your file photo. So to do that, you have this little button here that's upload images, and you can just download it off of your camera or something, or you can do it from your phone if you have the app. And then just insert the image into the box. That's fine. Or you can do it in just a Word document and draw the circles with the lines, and that it takes just a little bit longer because you have to space everything out so you can see it. But some students choose to do that because then they have it electronically and they can just save that Word document and upload that. So entry 7 will be the one where you upload a Word document. The others you're going to type straight into the text box. So once you're done, you'll have 4 entries then that have been separately posted on this discussion board. And again, this is just your own discussion board. You do not interact with your peers here. Only you and me can see your posts. So that's the first assignment that you'll do, and it's like I said, sometimes you get a little bit confused by it. It's really not supposed to be that confusing, and it should be fairly simple, but you do have to get in there and give yourself enough time to go through them. The other thing is a thesis statement exam. So the exam itself is one that has a time limit, and it is one that you can only take one time. So if you start it for some reason, something happens, you lose power or you lose internet or whatever, and it won't let you finish it, then you have to email me so I can reset the entire exam for you. Otherwise, you'll only get the points that you earned. So what I recommend is taking this review quiz first. You can take this as many times as you want to. It's worth 0 points. It pulls from a pool just like the exam, and so it should be a lot of very similar statements. So basically what you're going to get is a set of 2 thesis statements, and you have to decide which one would make the better thesis. And so you'll go through the entire thing, and you'll see, if you go through the quiz, it will show you what those will look like. And so then when you take the exam, then you will be a little bit better prepared for it. So let me double check and make sure. Oh, no, I was wrong. That's a different exam. So this one, in this case, is this following a good thesis statement? And so it's just one, and you have to choose true or false. And so actually that's easier. And so you have to decide which one, whether or not it makes a good thesis, and you'll have, here you only have 5 to go through, and you can take it as many times as you want to. For the exam, you'll have more than that. So I highly recommend doing the review quiz first. So that's the module. It's not going to take you too long. It shouldn't anyway. It's all about the same sort of stuff, but we're really just trying to prepare you for just essay writing in general, with that first step of essay writing, that invention step that we need to go through in order to get further along and start drafting the essay. So hopefully you're doing well. If you have any questions, send me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.